Hello guys, it's Red here. I got a new microphone for my birthday, so today is the first day I'm testing it out and seeing how it goes. So let me know what you think in the comments after you watch this video. Today I'm going to be reading Tales from Call Centers. Okay, here's our first story. Man, there's not a word in the human language to express just how much of a no I can say to that request. I work at a call center for a financial institution. Today, lady calls in, and after questions and her rambling for about 7 of the most confusing minutes of my life, I'm able to determine she has a credit card, she has a debit card, and she doesn't know the difference between the two. Now, the credit is one of those ones that earns points. So she got the card 6 months ago and started spending like there's no tomorrow so she can earn herself a bunch of reward points. That alone takes a kind of logic I dare not give myself a stroke trying to figure out. But I digress. So she calls to check on her expected many reward points, and turns out she has none. This is because she hasn't been using her credit card, but instead her debit card. So now her checking account is way the hell overdrawn, half her bills didn't get paid, and she wants, I kid you not, she wants us to take all the transactions that's been done on the checking for the last 6 months, undo them, and redo them using the credit card so her checking account will be fixed, the bills will get paid, and she'll have her precious rewards points. She literally wants us to go back in time and change history. At least once a week I'll say to myself, that's the most ridiculous, unbelievable thing I've ever been asked. And somewhere a person like this is waiting by the phone going, hold my beer. I don't know, there should be some kind of test before you're allowed to get a credit card. And someone who doesn't know the difference between credit and debit really needs some sort of education because that's so bad. Okay, here is the next story. Customer said he was going to get me fired for asking to get his account number. Call comes in. OP here, can I get your name? John Smith. I have this charge on my account and I think it's fraudulent. My account ends in 123. Sir, I need the whole account number. What is it with the attitude? What attitude? I need the account number since you were transferred in from another department. You women always give men attitudes, then say you aren't. I'm not going to let a man talk down to me, so this is how the conversation goes. Sir, I do need your account number in order to assist you. I can look it up other ways, but I'm purposely going to ask for the account number now. I'm not going to give it to you. Can I speak to your supervisor? Yes, I'll get them after I verify who I'm speaking with. No, I want them now. Account number, then I will. I can do this all day, so give me your supervisor. I get paid by the hour, so I can as well. Can I get your account number? No! I will get you fired for not giving me one. You can't get me fired for getting your account number. Well, I'll see about that. Now, your supervisor? Account number? We go back and forth, then he decides to stop talking, so I have to go through the appropriate procedure. He responds with, I'm waiting for your supervisor. So I continue, and he stops talking after a minute. So I disconnect. It's been 2 hours and no one said anything to me. If they do, I'll be told I could have de-escalated better and get them to a supervisor faster. I know, yes, we all know that when you're in customer service, it's way better to be always polite and calm and just, listen to whatever they're saying. But some days, God, people are just so annoying, and you become more human and more of a real person than a customer service robot. So yeah, maybe OP shouldn't have done this, but completely understandable. Okay, here's the next story. You are not allowed to use the letter Q. Over the years I spent handling escalated supervisor calls, there were a number of callers whose reasons for asking for a supervisor really made me want to ask, don't you have something better to do? This was one of those calls. In the call center, we were allowed to go by whatever name we wanted, within reason. It could be our full name, a nickname, middle name, or just another name completely, as long as we went by the same name on every call. We couldn't go by something outlandish like Captain Lightning Pants or whatever, but to my knowledge, no one ever tried to. One of my co-workers went by Q. Just the letter Q, which was a very shortened version of her name. Everyone knew her as Q, her friends, co-workers, manager, and family. Enter angry caller. Customer had spoken to Q earlier in the day and called back simply to complain to a supervisor about her. However, she didn't want to complain about her behavior or her performance on the phone. Her complaint was about the letter Q. This customer, very angrily, bordering on full-out screaming, told me that she is not allowed to go by Q if that's not her name. I explained that she preferred to go by Q instead of her full name on the phones, and that even her co-workers and friends called her that too. I tried to set the caller's mind at ease, explaining that if a customer were to reference Q, we would know who it was, and that if someone didn't know who Q was personally, they'd see her name in the notes and know who handled the account if there was an issue. As every time someone accessed an account, an automatic footprint was left indicating who accessed it. No! She interrupted me as I finished explaining all of that. Just using Q is completely unacceptable. If I write in, nobody knows who Q is. It isn't a name, it's just a letter. She can't go by a letter. A letter isn't a name. That's not her real name, and that means she lied to me. She's a liar, and that isn't right. She needs to give her a real name or work someplace else. She was taking this name thing way too seriously, so I decided to explain it to her in another way. I go by Danny, which isn't my actual name. It's a nickname. My name is Daniel. I never provide my last name, and there's at least a dozen Dannys, Dans, or Daniels at my location, let alone across the entire company. So just saying you talk to Danny isn't enough of an identifier either, which is why, as I said before, everything is tracked in our system, including the person's name that handled the account, what date they handled it, and what they did on the account. If the problem is that Q isn't her real name, then I'm guilty of that too, because Danny isn't my real name either. If the problem is you citing that you spoke to Q isn't enough to identify who you spoke to, that's the case for anyone if you just get their first name. And most of us only give our first name, which is why we keep track of who you spoke to. So there really isn't an issue here. That's not the same! She shouted, getting angrier. Danny is a normal nickname. Q is not an acceptable nickname. Ma'am, I said, exasperated at this pointless conversation. You are not able to judge what is and is not acceptable for one of our representatives to go by. I've noted your feedback, however, we have deemed Q is an acceptable nickname, and she will continue to go by Q. She tried to continue arguing, but I was done with wasting any more time, and the next time she paused, I said, I've noted your feedback. Do you have any other concerns today? She continued rambling about the letter Q, so I closed the call and hung up. Seriously, who cares so much about a rep's name or nickname that it takes them to the point of anger? Some people have just way too much time on their hands. What if like, her name was Jay? Would that be an acceptable name? Jay? Because, I mean, you could argue that's just a letter too. Or K. K is also a name that is just a letter. So, it's such a ridiculous thing to complain about. I hope you guys enjoyed those r/Tales from Call Centers. Read by Red. That's me. And I hope you enjoyed my new microphone. I really like it. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Please give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe as well. Bye-bye.